I'm Brad Sheehan from Stoddart Manufacturing with the Australian distributor for Anets. Today what I want to talk to you about is how to use the FilterMate filtering system. First of all, what we need to do is turn the unit on. So what we need to do is come down here and turn the pilot to the on position and activate the sparker. Once the pilot is lit, hold your thumb here for about another 15 seconds until the pilot light stays on. Okay, now the pilot's on, so we turn to the on position and the thermostat is set here at 180 degrees, our frying temperature. We'll wait for this to heat up and then we'll come back to the how to use the unit. The FilterMate filter system is made up of the 14GS.CS fryer. The 14GS.CS fryer has a copper heatsink studs stapled to the outside. The fry tank has over 430 of them. This makes it extremely efficient because as the flame comes up, it gets caught in the copper studs, transferring the thermal efficiency straight into your cooking oil. Also, the 14GS.CS fryer is fully insulated and the whole unit, excluding the back, is all of stainless steel construction. That's the standard finish that we offer with the FilterMate system. Okay, now we're ready to filter the oil. What we need to do before we start the filtering process is to turn the fryer back off. So what we do here is just turn the gas controller to the off position, and just to be safe, let's also turn that to the pilot position. What we need to do is let the oil cool down from our cooking temperature of 180. We should leave it for at least 30 minutes for the oil to cool down, or if we're going to filter first thing in the morning, preheat the oil for about 20 minutes. Don't filter from cold start because the oil will be too thick and too heavy, but never filter the oil at 180 degrees because it is way too hot and it's very dangerous. Okay, so what we need to do is prepare the filter drawer for the filter paper. So what I need to do is just disconnect the power here, disconnect the quick disconnect coupling, and pull our FilterMate system out. Remove the lid, get that neatly out of the way. So now what I need to do is prepare the filter with the filter envelope. So remove the suction out of the way, remove our frame. This locks the envelope in position. Slide the frame into the envelope. Fold the envelope over. Clamp the envelope into position. Like that. Now fill that back into the filter drawer. Screw the suction connection back onto the envelope. We supply sample packs of the Filter Aid powder for you to polish and extend your oil life. How the powder works is all the nasties which are in the oil which you cannot see, it gummies them up and it ensures that they get caught on the filter paper to extend your oil life. So what we simply do is just sprinkle some of it directly onto the filter paper, about half the sample packet. We also supply this for you after your sample packets have run down. Okay, all I have to do now is push the filter drawer back into position, pop my lid on, put my power back in, quick disconnect coupling, back on, drawer in position. Now drain the oil into the filter drawer and activate the pump, and now through the continuous filtering process in conjunction with the powder, All those nasties will now be gummied up, and it will polish the oil so that we'll get additional oil life. If we're using a good quality oil like we're using here, a brand called Untitled, we should double our oil life by filtering every night or every morning, once a day minimum. You'll now see the oil is recirculating, washing down the side walls, back into the deep cold zone. We'll let the filtering process take place for about 4 to 5 minutes. That's all we need to do to polish and clean our oil. We could also transfer the oil from this vat to that vat by simply turning the pump off and activating this pump switch here. So that would transfer the oil from here now into this fry pot. Once the oil's filled it for 3 to 4 minutes, what we have to do is close the drain valve, allowing the oil now to pump back into our fry pot. See here that the oil is starting to fill back up to the top of the fryer. Once the oil pump starts to splutter and pump some air back into the system, we know that we've drained our oil totally from the filter made drawer and we're ready and good to go to start frying again. Now you'll see that we're starting to pump air, so there's no more oil left in our filter made drawer. So what we do is we simply come back down here, turn the pump to the off position. Another option we have standard with the filter mate unit is we supply it with a washdown hose. So what we do is we disconnect the quick disconnect coupling and we connect this one into position. So we just simply lock that on. The oil is being dumped into the filter drawer. So now I activate the pump, turn it on, and now I can wash down my fry pot. So if I had a heavily soiled fry pot because I've been frying heavily all day, it was late on a Friday night, I can wash down the complete fry pot, totally hands-free, to make sure I get my whole fry pot totally clean. I can also use this to drain my oil, to dump my oil. So when the oil is totally finished and dead, what I could do is I could place the wand directly into a 20 litre container, that right here, activate the pump, and just pump my oil, which would be dead, into the 20 litre container. So again, it's a hands-free operation. Okay, as I mentioned to you before, every Anets system comes standard with a drain hose. So what I'm going to do here is illustrate to you how we now want to dispense the oil which has been used for now over 2 weeks and no longer has any life in it. So all I've done here is quick disconnect coupling straight on, turn the pump on, and as you can see we just discharge the oil directly from the filter mate filter drawer straight into our 20 litre container. What I've done to make sure it's safe is I've let the oil cool down in temperature, so I'm not draining the oil here at 180 degrees. The oil's probably sitting at around about 60 or 70 degrees, so it's still liquid enough to run smoothly, but safe enough to dispense into the drum. So at the end of the filtering, what we're left with is our filter paper and our filter drawer system. The filter paper would last with this 2-bank unit 2 filters. What we do is we'd initially filter the cleanest oil and then filter the dirtiest oil at the end. And now what I'm going to do is discard the filter paper and show you how we can also wash down the bottles. Okay, one of the other nice features of the Filter Mate filter drawer system is that once we are finished with the filtering process, what we can do is actually lift and remove the stainless steel bucket for cleaning. So now what I could do is I could take this to the pot wash area outside, steam clean it, or tip the remaining residue into my grease bucket. You'll see here that the side is conveniently notched so that I can pour the oil and it'll run smoothly into a bucket or into a grease trap. Hi. Okay, now we're going to cover the general frying using the 14GS.CS fryer here. The best way to get your production from any deep fryer is to not double dip your baskets to stage the production. So we put the first basket in and we wait roughly about 30 seconds before we put the next basket in. Always leave your fries to the side, never leave your cooked product or uncooked product above the oil, because what will happen is the humidity from the oil will actually make your chips turn soggy. Okay, so now what we do is we place the next basket in. Always give your baskets a little bit of a stir so that your fried product doesn't bond together like a piece of concrete. This will take roughly about 2.5 to 3 minutes to cook, and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is pull out my first basket of fries. See they're nice and golden brown. You can hear the crossfire burner working in the background. The 14GS.CS fryer is so efficient. We've done cook-offs for it before, and with this 10mm frozen to done chip, we've done 40 kilos of frozen to done in an hour, and the fryer is still ready to go. It's the design of the open pot with the copper studs and the way that the flame gets caught through those copper studs, which transfers all the energy into our cooking oil. Also the whole cabinet is fully insulated, which again holds all the heat in around the frying zone, not coming up through the flue. Okay, now we'll take out our second basket. First basket we just need to give it a bit of a shake. I'll get that out of the way. And our second basket here, just drain off the oil. Bit of a shake. And now we're good to serve. So now we're going to fry off some fish. This device here is called a fish plate. If you're going to do any batter work, such as potato cakes, potato scallops, battered prawns, battered fish, you must have a fish plate, which is ordered as an accessory. To lower it in gently, or do a full cold start, of course. Okay, now for our batter work. So as I said here with the fish plate, the idea of the fish plate is so that your battered product goes down gently into the cooking oil, but it doesn't stick to the fryer. What we're looking for with battered work is to quickly seal the batter to ensure that we steam off the inside of the product. If we don't have a fryer which is efficient and seals the batter very rapidly, what we end up doing is soaking up a lot of the cooking oil, and we end up with a very poor quality tasting piece of fish. Okay, with battered product, it's essential you have to turn the product over to help keep the even browning effect. So just take your time and just gently turn over the product and let it continue to cook out. So there you have it. The benefits of using the Anets 14GS.CS high efficiency fryer in conjunction with a FilterMate filtering system will give you high output with a beautiful golden finished product. What your customers are looking for is a beautiful crispy piece of battered fish and crispy chips. Every time. That's what they want. They want to taste the flavour.